Sometimes it's not love, not friendship, just a little too close for comfort. Tonight, we're talking about the ones that almost were, but never really counted. Welcome to Talk to Me Nice After Dark, where the lights are low, the tea is hot, and we get into the kind of stories you don't post on social media. Tonight's episode is called Almost Doesn't Count, because no matter how close you think you are to having it all, almost will never be enough. I've got 3 situationship stories for you, some messy, some heartbreaking, and every single one is a reminder that almost will leave you just as empty as not at all. So pour that drink, get comfortable, and let's talk nice. Now, we've all been there before, in something that wasn't a relationship but still had us up at night stressing like it was. Situationships are sneaky. They creep up on you. One minute, you're just having fun. The next minute, your feelings are in a chokehold. If you've ever been in an almost situationship, DM me. I want to hear about it. Let's talk. Now, this first story, I'm going to call the almost relationship. She met him at a kickback through a mutual friend. They had that instant spark, late night conversation, weekend link-ups, inside jokes that made them feel like a couple. She swore this was leading somewhere. But every time she hinted about making it official, he said, let's not ruin a good thing. Months had passed, they got closer, but he never claimed her. And then one day, she found out why. He had a girlfriend the whole entire time. She blocked him on everything, but funny enough, he still watches every single IG story she posts. That's wild. See, this is why I don't like, let's not ruin a good thing. Sir, the good thing is me. What are you talking about? And him watching her IG stories, now that's the official stamp of a man who fumbled, period. Alright now, story number 2 is my personal favorite because the mess was spread over years. You ever ghost someone for years and life happens and y'all end up back in each other's lives like nothing happened? Yeah, it's cute at first until it's not. This next story we're going to call Rekindling Gone Wrong. Okay, so she met him through a friend, technically her friend's cousin. The chemistry was instant, but it was mostly physical from the start, right? Then came the drama. Conversations got repeated, lies got told, and people who had no business being involved somehow got pulled in. She cut him off. No text, no call, just ghosted him for 5 years. Then, life happened. She reached out, thinking it'd be a short, respectful exchange. But one message turned into catching up turned into late nights turned into, This time though, she caught feelings, real ones. She wanted to show him she could be more than just physical. But for him, nothing had changed. He didn't want more, and eventually she had to face the truth. She was in love with a man who was never going to love her back. So she let go. Not because she stopped caring, because she finally cared about herself more. Now this one is the worst. Loving someone who doesn't love you back the same way, and it's not always because they're bad people. Sometimes they just don't see you the way you see them. And arguing with somebody you're not even with, that's premium level clownery. I've been there, and I do not recommend. 0 out of 10. Alright now, story number 3. This one is pure chaos energy. And if you've ever been in an on again, off again, you already know how this one's about to end. We're going to call this one the on again, off again disaster. Because they met after work, and from the very beginning the energy was chaotic. They'd flirt, then argue, then make up. Sometimes all in the same night. They swear they were done with each other, then see each other out, and somehow end up back in the bed. The cycle went on for years. The ending? She planned a surprise birthday visit for him, only to walk in and find another woman there holding this, cake, as we should say. And yes, she left the cake behind. Now see, these are the receipts. Almost sounds cute until you're standing in front of someone holding your man's birthday cake. Y'all gotta tell me, what's the pettiest way you ever ended a situationship? I might read them on the next After Dark. This has been real interesting, But let's talk about why almost hurts just as bad and sometimes worse than a real breakup. The thing about situationships is they give you just enough to keep you holding on, but never enough to make you feel secure. The time apart always doesn't change anything. Sometimes when you rekindle something, all you're doing is reigniting an old wound. And a hard pill to swallow, if they tell you that they don't want more, believe them the first time. Otherwise, you'll spend months, even years, trying to prove you're worth it to someone who already decided you're not the one. Almost will always hurt because it keeps you living in a space between hope and heartbreak. Every situationship has a shelf life. And when it's expired, you can't keep trying to make it fresh again. That's how you end up stuck. Almost is just a fancy way to say, you wasted my damn time. If it didn't count, you don't get a score, but you still get blocked. And almost can leave you breathless and never satisfied. We could have been something, but you kept proving me we were nothing. So yeah, almost doesn't count, and neither did you, boo. Unfortunately, these weren't love stories. They were cautionary tales with good sex. Almost relationships are like coupons. They expire before you can really use them. You're never really theirs, just their favorite bad decision. Some chapters aren't meant to be finished, just remembered after dark. Not every story gets a happy ending. Some just fade into the night. We burned out. It burned hot, but it was never enough to keep us warm. Almost is just a softer word for not at all. We have to learn that chemistry isn't the same as connection. And finally, stop asking what if, because you already know the answer. So my closing thoughts to tonight's episode, almost can be more dangerous than actual relationships because they leave you stuck in between. Not enough to hold on to, but too much to forget. You replay the best parts and ignore the worst, and convince yourself that maybe next time will be different. But here's the thing. If they wanted to, they would have. And if they didn't, they never will. So let's be done letting our hearts get caught up in almost. Love me all the way or nothing at all. So if your situationship lasted 3 months or 3 years, whether you walked away or got walked out on, remember this. Almost doesn't count. Not when it comes to love, not when it comes to respect, and definitely not when it comes to knowing your worth. This has been After Dark. I'll see you next time, but until then, keep it real, keep it classy, and most importantly, keep it nice. From your favorite voice note friend, QueenieReneé, talk to me nice or don't talk at all. Next week's episode is the one that got away or the one I let go. Late night reflections on someone you thought was the one, but life, timing, and foolishness got in the way. Could be romantic, sexual, or even friendship. You ever let someone slip away and wondered if you fumbled or dodged a bullet? Yeah, we're going to get into it next time. So send me your DMs. Let me know your stories. And I'm going to give you my opinions, my thoughts, and my advice. Let's talk about those connections that were pure fire in the bedroom, but pure chaos everywhere else. When the chemistry could burn the house down. But baby, you can't build a home for flames. That's the next time on After Dark.